fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. Now...
What's up, guys? Spenny. There's a famous scene in the series Breaking Bad where Walter White, the guy who breaks bad, is on a recorded line with his wife. Now, he's had his cover blown. He's the kingpin of this massive drug empire that he was co-running with his wife. They were both in on it. Walter White knows that the line is recorded, and so he decides to absolve her of all blame by attacking her, screaming at her, shrieking at her, threatening her, saying he's going to kidnap their children, that she was the good guy and he was the bad guy. Knowing that that's going to be put into the record and it's going to save his wife. Kind of the beauty of the series is that you end up rooting for Walter White, even though he's technically the bad guy. Well, the point is that this is an operation to save his wife when everything's already broken and destroyed. And that's what many people are saying about Charlie Kirk's killer and these mysterious texts that are out with his boyfriend. I got to tell you, we had a breaking news read yesterday where I just kind of read these and we're like, a little convenient, isn't it? Yeah, it's like if AI wrote text messages in order to absolve a single party in a dual party crime. It is bewildering to me to think that the boyfriend, the transgender boyfriend of Tyler Robinson, knew nothing about this. But that is conveniently what the text messages relay, almost in a perfect timeline and cadence. It has many people questioning, what's going on here exactly? And why would these text messages be written in a specific way, at the specific timeline, in the most stressful moment of this individual's life? You're being hunted by every federal authority on earth, and you're here writing like sonnets and Shakespearean poems to your transgender lover? It seems staged. That's what many people are saying online. The messages that you can read were not released with their timestamps. Were not released with the dates that they were sent. But what it does is it absolves the transgender boyfriend of literally every single step of the crime. First, it absolves the transgender boyfriend of knowing about the crime. Then knowing why he was engraving bullets. Really? You're there, your partner is sitting there engraving bullets in his spare time and you don't have any questions about it. Then it goes into like the plot of the crime. This is apparently between Charlie Kirk's killer and his transgender boyfriend. And then a long conversation about like his grandfather's gun and the cost of the scope and so on, and the memes. And all of it effectively saying, I take full blame, you knew nothing. Now, this doesn't stop ABC News from gushing over the texts, saying that the texts were very touching in a way that many of us didn't expect.
Who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances.
Oh, it's very precious. It's very touching. Matt Walsh, I'm leaning very strongly towards the theory that this text exchange was scripted in a way that to absolve the boyfriend. It's almost exactly what Walter White did. At the end of Breaking Bad, it feels like a strategy cooked up from watching too much TV. Text message between Robinson and his roommate. Remember how I was engraving bullets, he says? The roommate knew. It seems extremely faked. It seems like they were sent, like almost like they had pre-typed them. The most plausible and sensible theory isn't that the FBI made up the text messages and released them, but that the killer and his boyfriend constructed a highly scripted text conversation as an alibi for the boyfriend. I don't know that to be the case, obviously, but it's a highly plausible scenario. We do know that Tyler Robinson was a high IQ individual, a high IQ operator, and that Tyler Robinson is somebody who scored off the charts in his SATs and ACTs. I see that the FBI has taken to writing fan fiction. Young gay men talk to one another like this. Half of this is in cop speak. Interrogated, squad car, retrieve it, swept the spot. Why does he address multiple loose ends in this convo with significant other unprompted and expressing that he didn't want him involved? Not good at this. I will have left no evidence except for the note that I wrote you in confessing my crime and all these text messages laying it out in meticulous detail for everybody to find and convict me. Okay, people are saying it's very strange. This is not normal conversation between two people, especially not two 22-year-olds. I mean, my old man, for real. Kids don't say stuff like that. Either the shooter staged this with his boyfriend to absolve him, or a third party wrote it. What do you think? Near the end of Breaking Bad, Walt steals his baby. He calls Skylar. He knows the phones are being monitored. The house is filled with law enforcement. He immediately starts yelling at her, saying how it was all him and threatening her. Basically saying, you knew what I'd do if you ever betrayed me. One of his final acts was out of love to clear her name and then blame himself. These are these messages to Charlie Kirk's boyfriend feel like a desperate attempt to go down with the ship alone. Completely scripted, just my opinion. I put the alleged text message exchange and his lover into ChatGPT and asked if it seemed real. ChatGPT says the texts are most likely fabricated, too detailed and too incriminating to be real, according to AI. Goodness gracious, look. There it is. Stylistic mix, slang plus exposition. Narrative flow leans towards AI-assisted creation. It's fabricated either by a human writing a mock transcript for dramatic effect. Here's a good question. Did the transgender boyfriend have access to both phones? Phones are tracking devices. Were the phones found on Tyler Robinson? Seems like a normal, logical question. Try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I really have a hard time believing the short text exchange of the alleged shooter. Here we go. This is great. This is what this really short text exchange does. He makes his confession. He confirms the location of the weapon, confirms the type of weapon, confirms it's wrapped in a towel, confirms his motive, exonerates the decoy, George Zinn, admits the bullet engravings, confirms the wardrobe change, confirms how long he's been planning it, discloses the existence of the location, now destroyed pre-written confession note, randomly tells his boyfriend that his dad is a diehard MAGA, as if he wouldn't already know this, given the nature of the relationship. That's right. Again, seriously. And is worried about his dad, grandpa, being upset if he doesn't come home with the rifle. Not the fact that he used it to commit a murder, not to mention 22-year-old terminally online Zoomer using phrases like squad car, drop point, swept the area, my vehicle, till I died of old age, my old man. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. This is the most convenient confession and accounting of events in human history. Many people are responding, saying to this post, saying, "Yeah, this looks like this doesn't look right." I think I got away with it and didn't leave any evidence. So let me text you all the details about the crime and leave a perfect digital paper trail for my guilt. Right. High IQ autist casually incriminates himself in text and communicates exactly what crime he just committed, detail by detail. I do find it strange that he is so long-winded here in these text messages and so detailed, and yet has no digital footprint, just a couple of blurbs here and there on Discord. Really? I showed this to my 21 and 23-year-old sons, and they said, no one they know texts like this. Mom, this is how you text. Do 22-year-olds who text other kids like this? They don't use complete sentences or correct punctuation. Prosecutors release the official text messages. Which part feels totally planned and scripted to you? Many people are saying this. I'm on the team. I think the texts were genuine because I've spent years watching autistic shut-in Redditors talk to each other. Text chain with boyfriend way too on the nose strains credulity, says Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon has said he doesn't believe this is real.
We're going to have to get a lot more information here, and we're going to play the cold open, and then later I'm actually going to play the text messages between the assailant, the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk, and his roommate / lover, and I don't know. I was in the Writers Guild as a screenwriter. I'm just not buying it.
I'm not buying it, says Steve Bannon. I can't be the only one calling BS here, can I? Like, he laid everything out perfectly in an effing text? Do criminals really do that? I mean, you do realize that you can, like, get a phone. You know, these are iMessages. These are very unsecure. Phones can be hacked. Your messages can be hacked. Your cloud can be hacked. Apple has access to all of these. The feds can subpoena Apple and get them all. Like, so you're just going to, like, lay... So you've committed this, allegedly, this perfect crime. You've gotten away with it now. Nobody knows who you are, and you're just going to, like, lay it all out there digitally. You're just going to tell everyone. If you were planning on escaping and living till old age, as Tyler Robinson allegedly says in the text, then why are you even telling them at all? Why are you telling your boyfriend at all? I thought that I would die of old age. But so that's contradictory right there. You mean to tell me that everything discussed here was not previously discussed with each other, considering they were in an intimate relationship? This looks like a cover-up. Nobody talks this much detail via text message with somebody they're in a relationship with already. I murdered him and it was premeditated, but I will have left no evidence. He messages his roommates in plain, unencrypted, discoverable text. Suspects literally sat through a court hearing that referenced said text messages and didn't say a word. No 22-year-old text like this. Smart guy in the top 99% of all standardized test measures didn't know text would be pulled. I find this so hard to believe that the boyfriend wasn't in on this and that those messages weren't staged. Maybe I'm tinfoil insane. Grok, create a text exchange to make me look like the lone gunman. That's exactly right. Yeah. Goodness. The real author of the text message. Vehicle. That's right. Like, who says that? Yeah. I'm saying it's strange. I don't have any proof one way or the other. Well, when we were reading it, it's like, it does really sound like a movie plot, doesn't it? It sounds extremely convenient. How will you ever know? Well, there's a very big investigation going on right now. And as we have said, you got to look at the transgender boyfriend. You've got to. You should probably place that individual under arrest and increase the pressure and say, you know, it's not good enough to just be cooperating. Like, we just don't believe that you had no foreknowledge here. And that this is a criminal conspiracy. We'll see. We have a feeling that's going to happen. And this is probably why. And your boy Benny, like, share, and subscribe. See ya.